This podcast uses AI-generated content. All information is for general purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or regulatory advice. Listeners should verify information independently and consult qualified professionals for personalized guidance. Welcome to the Luxembourg Fundcast.
Good morning. Today is Monday, the 7th of July, 2025, and we're diving deep into something, well, pretty huge. It's the evolution of corporate law and governance here in Luxembourg.
Yeah, it's not just a minor update, is it? This feels like a fundamental shift, EU-driven, aiming for much higher levels of transparency and resilience.
Exactly. It impacts everything, really, from basic company filings right up to board-level strategy. So before we get lost in the weeds, let's maybe set out 3 key things listeners really need to take away today. These are crucial for, directors, fund managers, compliance folks. First off, proactive compliance. It's not just jargon anymore, it's the new baseline. That law from January 23rd this year, it's transformed the RCS, the Trading Companies Register, and the RBE, the Register of Beneficial Owners. They're not passive anymore, are they? They're actively monitored, interconnected, and they come with real teeth now, administrative sanctions.
Right, so that means continuous data governance. You can't just file and forget. Second key takeaway, digital resilience. It's now firmly a board-level job. DORI, the Digital Operational Resilience Act, isn't just for the IT department.
No, absolutely not. It's core strategy, and the CSSF circulars implementing it here make it crystal clear. The board is ultimately on the hook for ICT risk, managing third parties, handling incidents, everything.
And third, sustainability is now hard law. We've got the CSRD Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive and the CSDDD Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. This combo takes ESG, environmental, social governance, from being maybe a soft concern
to a hard law obligation, definitely. We're talking auditable reports, mandatory due diligence, right down your value chain, and crucially, the potential for civil liability. It's embedded in strategy now.
So we're going to unpack all of that, look at what it means practically for your documents, how you negotiate the costs, the timelines, and maybe interestingly, how this changes what makes Luxembourg attractive. Its unique selling points. Okay, let's start at the foundation then. The registers, RCS and RBE. That law of 23 January 2025, effective February 1st. That's a big one, isn't it?
It really is. Probably the biggest overhaul we've seen for the RCS and RBE in a long time. The core idea, as you mentioned, is shifting them from just places you file stuff.
Like passive libraries.
Exactly, to active, data-driven supervisory tools. The goal is all about data quality, accuracy, making sure it's up to date. It's a real shift towards state enforcement at the foundational level.
So what changes did it actually bring in, practically speaking?
Well, a few key things. First, automatic updates and linking the databases. The RCS manager can now pull info from other official registers, like the National Register of Natural Persons.
Oh, right. So if a director changes their name officially,
it should automatically update in the RCS and RBE. And there's a direct tech link between RCS and RBE now for cross-checks. It simplifies things, like pre-filling RBE forms. Makes life a bit easier there.
Okay, that sounds helpful. What else?
Second, and this is pretty impactful, enhanced monitoring and a totally new system of administrative sanctions.
Yeah.
The RCS manager must now do checks after filings of the posterior checks and can demand proof that your data is right.
And if it's not, if it's wrong or old or missing.
Then you hit an escalating procedure, 3 phases. Phase 1 is a formal request by registered letter telling you to fix it.
Standard enough.
But if you don't fix it within 30 days, Phase 2 kicks in. That starts with a name and shame notice on your public file from month 2. Then from month 3, official certificates saying something's wrong. From month 7 to 9, a daily penalty, 40 euros a day. And after 12 months...
Let me guess, something serious.
Administrative striking off from the register. And even then, if nothing happens, Phase 3 is the RCS manager reporting the entity to the state prosecutor. This whole ladder replaces the old criminal sanctions, which frankly weren't very effective. This has more jite.
Wow, okay. That's a serious escalation path. Anything else on the register changes?
Yeah, third, the scope of who needs to register is broader and clearer. All RAIF's reserved alternative investment funds have to register now. Doesn't matter what their legal form is, even FCPs, Fonds Commande de Placement, or SCSPS, Société en Commandite Spéciale, and the law is clearer on ID info for people needs gender, and the Luxembourg National ID number, the LNIN, if they have one.
So the big picture here is what?
It fundamentally changes the game from just relying on companies to self-report in good faith to the state actively enforcing accuracy. This is heavily driven by AML-CFT needs anti-money laundering and countering the financing of terrorism. Accurate beneficial owner data is just critical there. And linking RCS and RBE creates this compliance multiplier. You have to manage your data holistically, continuously. It's a top priority now.
Right. Active watchdogs, not passive libraries. Got it. Okay, let's shift gears from basic data accuracy to something strategic. Digital resilience. DORAS. As of January 17th this year, it's live across the EU.
Yes, DORAS. The goal is pretty straightforward. Create one consistent, strong legal framework so the whole financial sector can handle any ICT disruption. Whether it's a cyber attack or just an IT system failure, the aim is to withstand it, respond, and recover. Build resilience, basically.
And it achieves this through, what are the core components?
It's built on 5 main pillars. First, a solid ICT risk management framework. And crucially, the management body, the board, has ultimate responsibility.
No hiding in the IT department.
Absolutely not. Second, harmonize ICT incident management and reporting. You have to classify incidents, report the major ones to the authorities. Third, digital operational resilience testing. Proper testing, including for bigger players, advanced threat-led penetration testing, the serious stuff. Fourth, and this is a big one, a strict regime for managing ICT third-party risk. Your responsibility extends to your critical suppliers. And fifth, promoting voluntary sharing of threat intelligence between firms, trying to build that collective defense.
That third-party piece sounds like a major extension of responsibility. How has Luxembourg put this into practice? Through the CSSF, presumably.
Exactly. The CSSF issued key circulars back on April 9th this year. The main thing to grasp is how it changes the existing outsourcing rules. For entities under DORA, the old circular on outsourcing, CSSF 23806, now only applies to non-ICT outsourcing, like business processes. All ICT services, they fall directly under DORA now.
Ah, so clear separation. IT is DORA, non-IT is the old rules.
Precisely. Avoids confusion. And there's a new circular, CSSF 25882, specifically for DORA entities. It details what's needed for ICT third-party services, including keeping a very detailed register of information on all your contracts with them. That register is going to be central to how the CSSF supervises this.
So what does this mean for our listeners, this extended governance?
It means you, as a financial entity, are now fully accountable for how resilient your critical ICT suppliers are. If your vendor has a problem, it's your problem, your risk. The contracts need really specific clauses now on audit rights, security standards, how incidents get reported, even how you get your data back if you leave them, your exit strategy. Your governance duties now stretch deep into your partner's operations. It's a heavy lift for the board, and you can't delegate the accountability away.
Okay, that's DRA. Now, Pillar 3, sustainability. You said it's moved from soft to hard law. What's driving that?
2 main directives are key here. First, the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive, or CSRD. This basically scraps the old non-financial reporting directive and massively ramps things up. Sustainability reporting gets the same level of rigor as financial reporting. Meaning you have to report using detailed European sustainability reporting standards, the ESRS, and crucially, it has to be audited or assured by a third party. Same standard as financials. Though, worth noting, the Stop the Clock directive pushed the first deadlines back by 2 years, giving firms more time.
Okay, that's reporting. What about the other one, CSDDD?
The Corporate Sustainability Due Diligence Directive. This entered into force July 25th, 2024. And this one is, well, it's a potential game changer. CSRD is mostly about reporting your efforts, an obligation of means, you could say. Show us your plan, show us your data. CSDDD is different. It creates an obligation of results.
Obligation of results. How so?
It means large EU companies, we're talking over 1,000 employees, and 450 million euros worldwide turnover initially have to actively set up due diligence processes. Not just report, but identify, prevent, mitigate, and fix negative impacts on human rights and the environment across their own operations, their subsidiaries, and their whole global value chain.
The entire value chain. Wow. And if they don't?
Then they face potential supervisory fines and civil liability. People potentially harmed could sue them. It's about, did you actually prevent the harm? A much higher bar.
And sticking with sustainability, what about greenwashing in funds? We hear a lot about that.
Yes, ESMA, the European Securities and Markets Authority, put out guidelines on using ESG terms in fund names. The CSSF is actively implementing these. Basically, if you call your fund ESG, or sustainable or something similar.
You better back it up.
Precisely. Generally, you need to invest at least 80% of the assets according to those ESG characteristics you're promoting. And you have to follow specific exclusion criteria, no controversial weapons, limits on fossil fuels, that sort of thing. The CSSF even set up a special fast-track process, the priority processing procedure, to help existing funds get their documents updated to comply.
So, tying this all together, CSRD, CSDDD, the greenwashing rules.
They all converge. Sustainability data is becoming auditable, board-level stuff. CSDDD links failure here directly to legal and financial risk. So ESG isn't a side issue anymore. It's core enterprise risk management, right up there with financial, legal, operational risk. Your CFO, your chief risk officer, your general counsel, they need to be deeply involved continuously.
Okay, we've covered the three big transformations: the registers, digital resilience via DORA, and the sustainability imperative. Now let's get practical. What does this mean for day-to-day operations? Starting with documentation. This sounds like a lawyer's paradise or nightmare.
Maybe a bit of both. The ripple effect on documents is huge. Your corporate governance charters, board terms of reference, they need updating to reflect these new board responsibilities under DORA for ICT risk and under CSDDD for sustainability due diligence. These aren't things the board can just delegate away.
And fund documents, prospectuses.
Yep, they'll need changes too. For the new CSSF rules on NAV errors, Circular 24856, and certainly for the ESG fund naming rules under Circular 24863. Internally, you're looking at creating or completely overhauling policies. For AML-CFT, driven by that need for accurate RBE data, for ICT risk management, incident reporting under DORA, for error handling under the NAV error circular, it's extensive.
But you said the biggest impact might be on third-party agreements, especially for IT services under DORA.
Absolutely. Those contracts need a serious overhaul. They're not just service agreements anymore. They have to be DORA-compliant operational blueprints.
Can you give us some examples? What kind of clauses are essential now?
Sure. Let's take 4 critical ones for important ICT functions. First, access and audit rights. The contract must give you, your auditors, and the CSSF total unrestricted rights to access, inspect, and audit the provider's premises, systems, data. Anything relevant. Regulatory oversight now reaches right into your supply chain.
Okay, that's significant. What's second?
Security provisions. The provider has to be legally bound to follow your security policies and DORA's standards. Think data encryption, network security, access controls, the works. It has to be spelled out.
Third.
Incident reporting. The contract has to demand immediate notification from the provider if there's any ICT incident affecting the service. And the timing, the triggers for that notification, they have to align with your CSSF reporting deadlines, which can be incredibly tight sometimes, just hours for initial flag.
Wow, okay. Very prescriptive.
Right.
And fourth.
Exit strategy assistance. For critical functions, the contract needs to detail exactly how the provider will help you transition smoothly if the contract ends. Moving to another provider, bringing it back in-house. They need to commit to transferring data, cooperating, sharing knowledge. You can't be left high and dry.
So these contracts become incredibly detailed operational documents.
Exactly. They specify how security works, how testing happens, how incidents are reported, how you exit. It means your legal, risk, and operations teams have to work incredibly closely during negotiation. You're embedding auditable, workable commitments right into the legal text.
Now, you mentioned negotiation, but negotiating with a regulator like the CSSF, that's a different beast, isn't it? It's not really haggling over terms.
No, not at all. It's about strategic engagement. It's about showing them you're serious, prepared, and have robust systems. The negotiation is really about the quality of your preparation and your ongoing compliance posture.
So what are the best practices for that strategic engagement? How do you approach the CSSF effectively?
First, be proactive and transparent. If you're submitting anything, a new fund application, an amendment, make sure it's complete, high quality, all docs included right from the start. Incomplete files just cause delays. Second, use the official guidance. Show you've read the circulars, the FAQs, the ESMA guidelines. Referencing them explicitly demonstrates diligence.
Makes sense. Show your homework.
Right. Third, use the system smartly. If there are streamlined procedures like that priority processing for ESG fund names, use them. It shows you're aligned with their priorities. And finally, perhaps most importantly, robust internal governance. The CSSF puts enormous weight on this. Clear structure, clear roles board, conducting persons, control functions, and comprehensive written procedures for everything important.
So it's less about arguing points and more about demonstrating a solid foundation.
Precisely. It's moving beyond just ticking boxes to proving you have a genuine compliance culture. The underlying question the CSSF is asking is, do you have a strong, board-approved way to manage this risk? Have you tested it? Can you show us clear proof it works? The quality of your internal setup is your best argument.
Okay, let's talk costs. This all sounds expensive. We're talking significant new investments, right?
Oh, absolutely. These aren't trivial costs. For DORA, you're looking at cybersecurity upgrades, mandatory resilience testing. Those threat-led penetration tests can be very costly, auditing your vendors, hiring or training specialized ICT risk and security staff. Plus, legal fees for renegotiating all those complex ICT contracts. And the CSSF even wants you to track and report your annual costs and losses from major ICT incidents now.
And for the sustainability side, CSRD and CSDDD.
Big investments there, too. New systems for collecting, managing, and reporting sustainability data. New recurring fees for getting those sustainability reports audited or assured. Plus, the operational costs of actually doing that due diligence across your global value chains and fixing any problems you find. Even the NAV error circular implies higher costs, better prevention systems, maybe more controls, plus potential compensation payouts and auditor fees if errors happen.
With all this complexity, how has it changed how legal and consulting firms price these projects? It can't just be hourly rates anymore.
No, it's shifted significantly. This kind of work is now strategic advisory. It needs multidisciplinary teams, legal, tech, risk, operations, all working together. So pricing is much more based on the strategic value delivered, the complexity of the problem, the level of risk being managed rather than just counting hours.
What influences the price?
Things like, are we talking about a single fund or a whole global group? How complex are your current systems? Do you need advice covering multiple countries? How much C-suite and board involvement is needed? And the stakes are high, right? DORA fines can go up to 5 million euros, or even a percentage of turnover. That justifies a significant investment in getting it right.
It might be helpful to quickly run through some key dates again, just to ground this.
Sure. So January 1st, 2025, the new NAV error framework kicked in. January 17th, 2025, DORA became fully applicable. February 1st, 2025, the new RCSRBE rules took effect. May 21st, 2025, the deadline passed for existing funds to fix their ESG names. And looking ahead, August 31st, 2025, that's the end of the 6-month grace period for everyone to get their RCSRB data updated.
And further out, reporting deadlines.
Right. Reporting in 2026. First CSRD reports due for the 2025 financial year for large companies not previously under the old NFRD. July 26th, 2027. Deadline for member states to get CSDDD into their national laws. Reporting in 2028, that's when the first CSRD reports are due for large companies previously subject to NFRD because of that stop-the-clock delay. And July 26th, 2028, CSDDD rules start applying to the very largest companies.
So the message is, treat this like a major capital investment CapEx and ongoing operational cost OpEx.
Absolutely. It needs serious long-term financial planning. And from your perspective as a client, it probably makes sense to look for advisors who can offer an integrated solution blending the legal, the consulting, the tech expertise to get better value and efficiency. Don't forget, the government here does offer an 18% tax credit for digital investments, which could help soften the blow somewhat.
Okay, that's a lot of demanding, costly regulation. Which brings us back to that question, why Luxembourg? What makes it attractive now, given this environment? Is the traditional appeal still there?
It's a fair question, and yes, the traditional strengths are definitely still potent. You've got incredible political and social stability. You have the CSSF, a very experienced, pragmatic regulator, deeply respected for its cross-border expertise.
And the product range.
Unmatched, really.
Yeah.
UCITES, SIF, SICAR, RAI, the incredibly flexible SCSP, the Société en Commandite Spéciale. It caters to global managers' diverse needs. Plus, you have this deep pool of international multilingual talent. And it's still an innovation hub. Look at the blockchain laws for dematerialized securities, the clear path for fund tokenization. Those fundamentals remain strong.
But you mentioned something else earlier. A new USP emerging from all this regulation.
Yes, I think there is. Luxembourg has what you might call a DORA head start, and it comes from our long-established system of support PSFs, support professionals of the financial sector.
Right, those are the regulated service providers, like IT operators, admin agents.
Exactly. They provide services to regulated firms, but they are themselves regulated and supervised directly by the CSSF. And here's the key difference. For years, These support PSFs have had to comply with CSSF circulars like 2750 or 202806, which were basically precursors to DORA. They covered ICT risk, outsourcing controls, business continuity.
So a large part of the critical supply chain here is already used to this level of oversight.
Precisely. They are, to a large extent, already DORA ready. So if you're a Luxembourg fund manager or bank using a regulated support PSF, your burden for overseeing that provider under DORA is significantly reduced compared to, say, a firm in another country dealing with completely unregulated IT vendors they now have to bring up to DORA standards. It's a massive advantage in practical implementation.
Interesting. So the narrative shifts.
It really does. Forget the old idea of light touch regulation. That's history. Luxembourg's new unique selling point, its resilience, is about providing the most stable, expert, and crucially efficient environment for you to actually achieve compliance with these complex EU rules. The support PSF system under DORA is a prime example. Compliance excellence, facilitated by the ecosystem, is the competitive edge now, not trying to avoid regulation.
So looking ahead then, we've had the laws, the circulars, the implementation scramble. What's the next phase in this regulatory cycle?
I think the clear shift now is towards supervision and enforcement. We should absolutely expect to see more thematic reviews from the CSF, more on-site inspections, and they'll be looking specifically at how firms are doing with DORA, with CSRD implementation, with those new AML governance standards linked to the register updates.
So the focus moves from are you building it to is it working?
Exactly. And the first enforcement actions under these new regimes when they come will be watched very, very closely by everyone. They'll set the tone, clarify expectations. We should also expect ongoing refinement. The European supervisory authorities, EBA, ESMA, EIOPA, they'll likely keep issuing more detailed guidance, level 2, level 3 texts, particularly for DO4 and the sustainability standards. So it's continuous monitoring, continuous adaptation. The big build might be ending, but the ongoing maintenance and scrutiny, that's just beginning.
Okay, a lot to digest. Before we wrap up, let's quickly hit those 3 key takeaways one more time. First, proactive compliance is the baseline. Those RCS and RBE changes mean active monitoring, real sanctions. Continuous data governance is non-negotiable now. Second, digital resilience is absolutely a board mandate. DORA puts the ultimate responsibility for the entire digital ecosystem, including suppliers, squarely on the board. And third, sustainability is hard law. CSRD and CSDDD mean auditable reporting, legal liability for due diligence failures. ESG is now core to corporate risk and strategy. Getting these 3 right, that's really going to define success for regulated businesses going forward. This podcast uses AI-generated content. All information is for general purposes only and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or regulatory advice. Listeners should verify information independently and consult qualified professionals for personalized guidance. Hit that like and subscribe button. It was the Luxembourg Fundcast for you today.